As I've said before, I don't really like stealth games. Metal Gear Solid does nothing to change this, but I do like it, not in any part due to the gameplay. After beating the game, I was wondering what the difficulties actually changed since I played it on hard. And apparently you are supposed to have a radar? If only I'd have known how important this choice would be beforehand. I'm used to higher difficulties being a bit harder, but I wasn't familiar with Kojima's game. Tedious stealth, unforgiving punishment for being spotted, bosses that hit like trucks and have way too much health. These were some of my biggest issues, but they could have been fixed by playing through the game on normal, so it's useless to go in depth on them. One thing that lowering the difficulty wouldn't have changed is the codec system. The codec is an absolute central part of this game. Basically, it's made up of two parts. You got the story codec where the exposition and dialogue take place, and the gameplay codec that is used to help you progress and explain gameplay relevant stuff. I'm talking about the helping codec. If you don't know something, call the codec. Whatever it is, the codec just turns into this end all be all solution. It's always the most effective thing you can do if you don't know what to do. And this works perfectly when you forgot where you needed to go or what the next objective was. But especially for the scripted parts of the game and the boss fights, it really discourages you from trying to figure out stuff yourself. Being stuck somewhere and the sole reason being that I didn't use the codec isn't fun. All the time I spent on the thing I was stuck on has gone to dust. I don't mind getting stuck somewhere, but with the way the codec is implemented, it sometimes feels like you are trying to solve a puzzle without having the right pieces. And then when you use the codec, the game is like, oh, yeah, here's the right set of pieces, go ahead, solve the puzzle. And the funny thing is that the game actually has a proper solution for this in the first boss fight against the tank. You get called. They tell you what equipment will be effective against the tank so you don't waste your time doing stupid shenanigans like me. But after that fight, it feels like you don't really get called for these kinds of situations anymore. If I get called in the middle of a boss fight and I don't pick up, that's on me and feels fair. But this isn't the way it goes most of the time. A perfect example of this is when you get gassed in the last part of the game. In the heat of the moment, I tried to get out of there, put on my gas mask, and I know the windows are bulletproof, but that doesn't have to mean they're rocket proof. I start blowing the entire room to pieces, hoping something will break, maybe even the gas operating device. Whilst doing this, I figured out that cameras are destructible by explosives. Thinking I had solved how to get out, I tried again, load in, blow up the cameras before entering so they won't know who's in the room, and of course, I get gassed again. I try everything again, and even going first person, crawling around the room, searching for a vent or a secret escape, but nothing worked. Out of options, I call Octocon. He opens the door. Octocon, don't you know what I'm doing at all times? Couldn't you just call me and open the door? Or just open the door outright? The hard mode making the game so challenging was not all bad though. It made me all the more excited for every break I could get with the codec causing cutscenes. This normally would mean I had a negative experience, but the game totally made up for the frustrating gameplay in its story and voice acting. And this is mostly because of the characters. I actually forgot that a game's narrative can be disengaging. The last time I played a game that made me feel this way was God of War Ragnarok. There isn't a single character in here I disliked, and Octocon is in here.
Stands for Otaku Convention.
Ojima went crazy with the cast. Getting to know these adversary and supporting characters and their motives is a pure joy. When you find out why Mantis turned against humanity, or hear about Wolf's shift of perspective going from the hunted to the hunter, these things make the characters actually feel human, and this way of letting you relate to the characters before they pass adds weight to all of your actions. This game is filled to the brim with interesting twists and turns, keeping you on your toes for every codec call. Some of these plot twists recontextualize the entire story. Most of the dialogue being on a personal or world-threatening level, seems to accomplish what it is trying to do, be it entertain or shock you or immerse you. Everything that's been built up gets tied together exquisitely in the finale. Even though there were a lot of frustrating things in here, when the final cutscene played and the credits rolled, I couldn't help but ignore all of that and just appreciate what a great work of art I got to experience, and can't wait to see where the series takes David next.